The tube.
Hey, everybody. We are live.
Why
Welcome.
is it not showing on my
Hey,
page?
Karen. I see Karen. She read that book
There
in
we
like
go.
the afternoon. 'Cause she's like, "Oh,
Really?
read the book. I haven't read the book yet. I mean, I think I can make it. I got 9 hours. So, like, she read it today. So, bravo. And
Today?
yeah, I think she read it today. I was like, thanks for coming.
Karen, you the MVP.
Yeah, exactly.
You are the MVP.
Yeah,
Good
absolutely.
Lord.
Absolutely. And then she said, because it was good.
Well, I'm glad.
Yeah.
Jesus.
No, and then after 2 days, not in one day, because it was like, nah, one day, nah.
One
Yeah,
day, wow.
it probably would have taken me much longer to read it had I not finished it via audiobook while I was
Mhm.
headed out of town.
Yeah, but it probably did it read well as an audiobook?
It did. It did. It read well, and I enjoyed the because I don't read patois well. I
Mm.
don't. I don't read patois as quickly as I may read like some other dialects.
Yeah.
Because I can't speak patois well, so it's
Mhm.
hard for me to hear it in my head with me saying it. If that makes any sense whatsoever. So, but
Yeah.
the narrator did a very good job. It was a female narrator, and she did a very good job with the patois.
All right. Okay. So let's get started with this discussion. Okay, so let's just start simple. What did you think?
Michael, you go first.
Okay. I liked it. I gave it 3 stars on Goodreads. I liked it. That's
Okay.
that's
And
the initial thought. Go ahead.
Tatiana?
Same. I liked it. I think I'm more in the 4-star
Mm.
area.
Mhm.
But I did really enjoy it.
Mhm. Okay, I'm the same. I gave it a 4 stars. I really liked it. I was very happily surprised because I'm sure a lot of people got really scared when they saw Man Booker Prize 2011 longlisted. They must have freaked the hell out. Okay, I know people be freaking out when they see that Man Booker up there. And I was just like, well, we're gonna make it work. It's gonna roll.
I
It's
literally
gonna roll.
said it didn't win. When I saw the selection, I saw the sticker, and I said, "Well, it didn't win, so it might work."
No.
No,
No.
no,
No.
Yeah,
no.
No.
I
Well,
don't
I
have a
I
good.
I understand your. I understand where you're from because
Mhm.
usually the man booker will pick books that just love language. Like they just love to not say it to you straight, like reading wise. But I think those are great. So
I like the way you said that
Yes, and
love language because that's not how I would exactly put it. But
that's no. It's like they tend to be a lot of talking, and that's probably my
Mhm.
main issue with this book. Is the some things are super described,
mm,
and that I think that's I was like, do we really need? It was like reading procedures. She did this, then she did this, then she turned around and she did this, then she went outside and she did this, and then she turned back around and she did this. And I
Yeah,
was
but
like,
I think those are those. I think that's done on purpose, and it gives a sort of sense of because most of the book is told from the point of view of the daughter Jinxie.
mm-hmm.
So it's almost like a way of I don't know. At one point, I said this is sort of like you're getting coaxed into something, and then as soon as you get there, you get slapped. That's what it feels like. She kind of coerces you in gently like this, and then she goes right when you arrive. You just get right upside the head, and you don't see it coming. And she's lots of little like sweet, caring kinds of things, and then it just goes real violent, And I
Yeah,
think
there were a few things that I did not see coming, and then I was
I
like,
did not see coming at
what
all.
the fuck just happened? Like, I was literally listening to the audiobook on the road, and we got to a point, and I was like, as I'm driving, I'm like,
Yeah.
back. You
What?
can't
Yeah.
go back 30 seconds. I hit it like 6 times. I was like, we need to redo that whole thing again. What?
Yeah, what I thought she does really well is the dialogue, and some of the internal thoughts are really important. So, for example, I remember Michael, you came on a couple days ago and you went, I just started reading A Cupboard Full of Coats, and then you said, this main character don't like children.
She don't. Well, that was the part where I filmed that after she slapped him, and I said, "Oh,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
Okay,
yeah."
Okay.
So we can start there. Let's start there. So, as when you're reading the beginning, you're hearing about this lack thereof relationship between her and her son. What did you think?
Relatable.
Huh?
I think it's relatable to not like kids. I think it's relatable.
It's
And
relatable.
I'm on the total other side of the spectrum. Although I, am aware that not everybody who has kids has that
fiber.
Parental that parental instinct. The fact that she had no feels, fucks or cares.
Yes, that's the thing. I was
Her
like,
husband walked out and picked up the baby and took him with him. I was like, you just let all, like, I can understand you letting the one go. And he was tired of dealing with the emotional standoffishness that she had. But like, I think she had this mindset of what it was going to be like to have a kid. And it was kind of like, I'm going to have a kid and I'm going to have the relationship with this kid that I didn't get to have with my mother beyond a certain point, without thinking about the fact that there is work that has to be done with this child and for this child. And she never had, from titty feeding to potty training, she never had that connection to her child.
Didn't she even say it felt like it was sucking the life out of her?
Yeah.
And I feel like that is a possible normal feeling that a lot of women have, and it's one that we don't talk about openly.
Yeah,
you don't read about it a lot too. Like, that's also something.
Nobody talks about it either. Nobody brings up the fact that they want, because like you may want to be a mother, and then when it happens, things don't just always fall into place. Like things, you have to do things for this, to go right. And people don't talk about how, well, yeah, no, I didn't have that motherly instinct or whatever.
That motherly instinct. She had some postpartum depression issues that were going on. And then she had the entire, like, she literally been on her own since she was 17 for, lack of community and in a better word. So there were a lot of things in her that were not conducive to creating a relationship with her child on her own.
Yeah, on her own. But also, I feel like it's also because of her, sort of like feeling abandoned by her mother.
Yep.
Abandonment issues. That's something that can really affect women and men when they try to be parents. It's like, if you got serious abandonment issues that you haven't dealt with, then that stuff is just lingering around, and you won't see it come out maybe until you actually become a parent.
And sometimes you don't even know that
No,
that's
you
the
don't.
issue that you're having. Like,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure for all of her life, the issue that she was having was the issue that the book starts with, about I killed my mother,
Exactly.
and not any of the underlying things of in that mother-daughter relationship that happened prior to that night.
That night, yeah. And
I
the thing, go ahead, Michael.
as I was saying that I felt that initial thought was like, oh yeah, relatable. She doesn't like kids, but I think it's also going to the fact we could talk about it later. But the structure of how the events are told, or like it's unfolded, it's
They unfold.
really
Yeah.
it's really good. And
Yeah,
so
It's in my
by the
notes.
end, I was like, okay, I can see how you feel. Like it's very understandable, because like while she doesn't like her kid, well, she doesn't, she feels different about her kid. It's just as the story unfolds, you really understand why she doesn't, like why she would feel like this because
Yeah.
of the things that happened in her past. And I was like, oh, okay.
And I don't even think it's that she didn't like her kid. I think it's that she could not connect to him. I don't think
I
it's
can
that
see
she
that,
didn't
yeah.
like him.
Yeah.
Because you in my and I mean in my thoughts, in order to not like somebody, you have to know them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And she doesn't know this 4-year-old kid. She doesn't know that you don't take a 4-year-old kid to the movies.
Cinema. I know. I said the same thing.
And just
Like,
think
what's
and
doing?
sit in the middle and just think you're gonna sit and watch this whole movie. Like everything about that day of interaction,
Yeah, it was terrible.
really showed how much she did not know about being a parent, but also about dealing with kids.
Especially a 4-year-old. Like
Oh
that whole
God.
bathroom situation, I was like, girl, come on now. There are ways of dealing with this.
There are ways of dealing with it. You go, I have had to babysit, take out kids, and the boys have the same reaction. And so I will go. I also have no fucks about like going into because of care and help I've done, for males. So I have no fucks about going into the men's bathroom, but I will go to the door and I will knock on the door and I will, say, woman coming in with the kid.
Exactly.
And if anybody is in there, 9 times out of 10, you hear a dude who's at a urinal say, hold up. But other than that, you go in, you let them go into the stall, and you don't even have to stay in there.
No, you can just
let them go to the stall.
That he goes in there and nobody, else, there were ways of dealing with it, but you can tell she's out of her depth.
She's completely ignorant on
She's
how to deal with that.
What's happening, So that whole scene, that whole kid thing was just terrible to read because you can.
And then she takes him to the park.
Yeah.
He's ready to go home. He's had this traumatic experience of having to pee in the girl's bathroom. He's cried through the whole movie. And you think after all of that, he wants to go to the park.
The park, yeah.
Take his butt home.
Yeah. And then she wants to throw away his car. That's
why do that while he's there?
I know. The thing is, she argues with him. He's 4 years old. Like, what's he doing?
I know parents who do that.
Oh no, they are parents. Yes.
Whole ass argument.
Yes.
Contentious conversation with this child who has no sense of logic in trying to explain to them why something makes sense. This dude don't live with you.
She really is touched. Like she out of her depth. She don't know what she's doing.
He don't live with you. He only staying for the weekend. That car can go out on Monday.
Crazy. So, all right, now let's get to Lemon.
Oh Lord.
Girl.
My notes. First thing about Lemon says, Lemon is a mess.
Lemon is worse than I think Lemon is probably the worst person in this book.
You do?
To a certain extent. I'll tell you why. Now, I mean, of course, Barris is a bad person. Duh. But
he's of the people we interact with. because we
Yeah.
don't interact with bears. Got it.
Yeah, Lemon is just everything I hate in people.
Oh
Yeah.
But
Complacency.
he can cook. Someone said,
I'll
I
give a
love,
shit if he can
Nicola
cook.
says, I love
give
that.
a
I
shit.
love.
Keep your soup and your shit to yourself. Complacent. Just
Yes.
not thinking about anybody else but his own damn self.
Yes.
Like, come on, bruh. Like,
Yes.
and then he's gonna come to her house. No, no. That's just
He's
the
not
list
just
is
gonna
long.
come to her house. He's gonna come to. Okay, wait. Stick a pin in that. Can we talk about these kids? Because this is the second book by a UK author that I have read. The first was the Book of Echoes, I think.
Yeah.
Where we have adult children who are living in the home where where huge trauma took place.
Yeah.
And they are literally living like, I don't know that I could continue to live in the house that my parent was murdered in. Because the fact that Lemon could so easily find her, like he shows up to her house filthy. You need a whole ass bath. And then the first thing out of your mouth is, you done talk to the dude that killed my mama?
Look.
That is not hello.
Who slept with her when she was a child.
We're not getting to that yet. Because I got a whole.
The list is fucking long.
That's when I hit the rewind. That's when I hit the rewind on the audiobook because I was like, I know I'm hearing this shit wrong.
See, somebody said in the comment section, see, I said, I am with you, Dee Dee. He is the worst. He killed her mother, him, and Barris. He killed them all.
Oh, somebody said the UK is small and housing is a big issue. You stay in a free house no matter what.
Okay, thank you.
That's relatable.
That was a huge. I was like, how is she still? Because that's trauma too. Because I'm like, how are you still living in the house where your mother was killed? You still have the same furniture. Your mother's room is like a shrine to your mother, and the entire fucking cupboard full of coats is gifts for your mom getting her ass beat. Like,
yeah, exactly.
You got it, and you still got it all. You still got it all.
That's the thing. But you see, that's where you see how the main character, Jinxie, is sort of like, she's caught up in all of that when she shouldn't be caught up in that at all. Like, her mother was so desperate not to be alone that she would rather be with somebody who's going to beat her ass for a yes and a no, and then get repaid with a freaking coat after. Like, how unhappy must that woman have been?
All because she wanted. I'm sorry. I will.
She said she didn't want to be alone, girl.
Well, there's people like that though.
Yes.
They don't. They definitely don't want to be alone. Out of every fear that they have, that's their one thing, that they just don't want to be alone.
Alba said, and that name they gave her, Jinx. They fucked her up from child.
Yeah, so I was like, wait, what?
Name your child. Why?
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's her nickname.
No, it's
that's what I thought.
It's her name.
Jinxie is her name. Yeah. Yeah, it's got and then let's talk about the colorism stuff in here.
Girl.
Oh, with her friend. Oh my God.
That colorism was like off the chain in this book. I was just
it's not just in this book. I feel like there have been a few books, maybe the colorism dynamic that I have experienced in reading Black books in the last, and not that I didn't know that it existed, it's just I have not been seeing it so put forward, and it's not a bad thing because we need that shit thrown in our face, so that we can see how stupid we are. But that was loud.
It's hinted at in a lot of different parts of the book, but there's this
but it's particularly with Jinx.
Because
Jinx is dark skinned. Jinx is darker than her mother, and Lemon's whole attraction to Jinx is focusing on the fact that her eyes look like her mother's. And so if you just look in her eyes, you can overlook the fact that she's this ugly brown, that she's this ugly dark brown color. She's not yellow like her mother. You can overlook the, like, it's just, you would be so pretty if you weren't so dark. That's the
Exactly.
entire
Yeah.
mindset behind that. You would do your mother proud as far as looks go if you weren't so black.
If you weren't so, yeah.
Especially with her friend.
Sam. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was it Sam? Her friend.
Sam.
Sam. Yeah.
I don't think Sam was really her friend, but that's a whole.
I mean, that's well, when you're that young, you just think anyone you converse with is just your friend, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
like they don't even have to have your best interest at heart. They'll be like, oh, I just talked to them, so they're my best friend.
Right.
And then how
Sam's
Sam
whole I told you don't screw, don't mess with no black boy, and
oh God.
Black people have dark people have sex all the time. You ain't gonna be nothing but pregnant.
Yeah, like, what is that? I mean,
the part where they're like, you could tell who's a virgin or not. And I was like, oh my God.
What the feet turning out is that.
I was like, what if you're bow-legged? What if you're just naturally bow-legged? Then what?
No, Michael. I took that shit because I've never heard this shit before, and I know some people who are Caribbean, so I asked fucking questions. There were other things that they had, heard of, and like one chick that I asked, she said her mom knew that she wasn't a virgin because she peed different. But I asked about the feet, and she was like, "No, I never heard that."
Wait, because she.
How do you know if you pee different?
The sound of her pee when she was peeing was different.
How does pee sound different?
Hell if I know. But her mama told her that she knew because of that, and her mama was spot on.
Oh.
So she paid. I guess when you, I don't know. I've never paid attention to. It's just like I don't. I could have just had some extra water that day. Like what?
Well, not how you pee.
She said her pee sounded. Her mom told her pee sounded different.
All this is new to me because I was
like, oh my goodness,
I never heard of any.
I had never heard. Because I was like, I need to ask this question. And the conversation happened organically. That's the funny thing about it. The conversation happened organically. And I was like, well, since we own this subject, I'm reading this book. And this is what they said in the book. Have you ever heard this before? She was like, no, I've never heard that.
That is wild.
I don't know. Maybe this is, I purposely did not look her up because I really wanted to, talk it through with you guys from, what I was thinking, but it's true. Maybe this is something that is something like in the Caribbean community or something.
Like a cultural thing.
Alba says she's heard it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Alba says she's heard, especially the toes in or out.
Indicators of virginity, especially the toes in or out. Oh, I ain't heard that, but
that is what
Now, I mean the peeing on the bowl in the bowl. That is I'm confused by all that. I don't know what the lady is hearing.
That was hilarious when she said it.
A lot of the grandmas, those Caribbean grandmas, be saying they when somebody smells like, I don't know if they smell like fish or something that they're pregnant. They have all these kind of weird.
Yeah.
Okay, CS Dugas, the person that I asked, she's Jamaican.
Okay.
She's Jamaican.
Okay. All right now. Yeah, okay. So back to Lemon and his triflingness.
And her checking out his body, like the unabashed him standing there before he gets his filthy ass in the tub, and her analyzing his penis, his gut, his chest, his hair, his butt. Like at that point, I knew that there was for her some kind of infatuation in their background. I was not expecting he popped her cherry, but I knew that there was some infatuation.
I suspected it when I read that part because it's very intimate and it's a kind of look that
I wasn't
a grown-ass woman would give to a man.
14-year-old popping cherry. Like I wasn't expecting.
Yeah, I kind of suspected it though. You know, it's and then when the mom said, "Oh," when she, you know, when she was going out with Barris, and she said, "Oh, Lemon is gonna, you know, is gonna be with you or whatever." Even I was like,
You just leave it. But she did
"Why
this.
are you
She
leaving a
did the
grown ass
same
man
thing.
with your
She did the
teenage
same
daughter?"
thing. She did the same thing with her son. She did the same thing when they got back from the park.
Yeah,
She left her son downstairs when
yeah,
she went upstairs in anger to take that car apart. She did the exact,
crazy.
everybody leaving their kids to Lemon, and Lemon just sitting on the couch with his arm around your baby.
Ugh, ugh. No, I just
Like,
can't with
hello?
that. Well, you see, it just show. I think Alba said it. She said it seems like it goes to show how isolated Jinx and her mother were after Mr. Jackson died. No social skills. Okay,
Yes.
that says it
Yes.
all. Because you know, most women. I mean, I know, like in African American families, like they are not prepared to leave their daughters with any man in the house. I mean, it can be the uncle, the first cousin.
No
Like,
man.
nah, it ain't
When
happening.
my mom and my stepdad were dating, I was 4 or 5, because they got married when I was 6. When they went out on dates, I went to my aunt's, her best friend's house. I went to my aunt's house.
Mm-hmm.
And I stayed, and that's where I stayed when they went out on
Exactly.
dates. I was not with no dude.
They're not leaving you with no dude. I mean, that's that. So that right
The
there
fact that
tells
she
you
had no community. She
no.
had no, that means, and it kind of speaks to him, Mr. Jackson, picking her up at such a young age, because
Yeah.
I don't remember the mother's backstory, but she was 14 when they got married, I want to say. And her entire world was him until he died. And so she had no community,
Yeah.
Mm.
none whatsoever. And then she didn't attempt to create a community after his passing.
Mm-hmm.
And so the first person who shows her any attention, really, that is from the same or similar cultural background as her, and
Mm-hmm.
he cute, she jumps on it. There's no, this dude might be crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm remembering from Martin Lawrence's "You So Crazy." You don't know if he crazy, deranged. You just bringing him up in with your
Mm-hmm.
kid, and
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Lemon was quite the character. Now, there was when he comes back, I think the first thing he does is he starts all this cooking he's doing.
Mm.
Yeah. I feel like his cooking is like him trying to nourish her to a certain extent, but it's also to try to coax her into talking about what happened.
I
Um,
think, yeah, and I looked at it as an attempt to try to heal her.
heal her, yeah.
Yeah, because he knew,
Like he's in
number
a
one.
position to heal anyone. Okay. I'm just saying. I'm just saying the worst one in the book. But be that as it may, I have to commend Yvette Edwards for her.
Someone said with her own money.
Yeah, yeah, I saw that, and I was like, I just shut up, Tot. Don't say anything, because I felt that. She goes
Yeah.
out and buys groceries. She goes and gets everything. He literally has nothing to bring to the table but
Nothing.
penis and trauma.
Yeah.
He has his skills, his cooking skills.
He ain't teaching nobody to cook.
He got his cooking
He's
skills.
been getting along fine for 17 years or
Mm.
however many years it's been. After, as far as feeding goes,
Yeah.
she's not sickly.
But I feel
But
like
I do think his cooking for her, because I mean,
yes.
it's I think Caribbean culture. I know it's African American culture,
Yeah.
that when we are dealing with, you look at the repast, when you have someone, who dies, and there are people who go all out to make things that the person who is the surviving spouse or child, that they
Mhm.
like, to
Yeah.
make sure that they have something that they can enjoy during that time frame, because that is kind of healing and it breaks you out of that. I think with him cooking some of the things that she had when she was a kid, because it wasn't just him cooking, It was him cooking some of the dishes that she hadn't had since her mom's death, murder.
Yeah.
Murder. Yeah.
So,
Like Bukola said, yes, he was trying to heal her. I think he had good intentions at this point. He had no good intentions.
I don't know if he had. I don't know if he had good intentions because
I
he
don't
was.
believe it.
Yeah, I don't.
He
know
needed
that
a place to stay.
And on top
That's
of it,
it. That's it.
exactly right.
That's
He needed
it.
a place to stay. And then on top of it, he was like, I mean, also he's feeling a little bit guilty.
That is true.
By
Well,
the
he
way.
did.
And the fact
Yeah,
that
he
it's
caused
just
the
a little
murder.
bit is a fucking
He caused
problem.
the murder, but not only that, he caused the murder. Like, okay, let's just imagine. Imagine if she would have actually given him the letter. Actually gave Barris the letter, and he drove all over town.
They both be dead.
That's what I'm talking about.
There would be no story because Barris would have come home.
He would have come home. They both would have been dead on arrival,
and then killed their mama when they got home.
So this is the part where when you're reading it, you're thinking, because he says at one point before he actually admits that he wrote the wrong instructions, he says, oh, it would have been okay. He wouldn't have done anything. He would have just given her a beating like usual. And
that's okay.
That's what I'm talking about. That's why I keep telling you the man is trifling. He the worst one in the damn book.
He wouldn't have killed her. He just beat her ass.
He'll just beat her ass like usual. Okay? So when I read that, I'm like, well, how you know?
Because he was on,
that's what's gonna happen.
He was on the whole side, the way the double agent that he was. This is like the Count of Monte Cristo fucked up. The whole double agent that he was, feeding Jinx's mother poor information.
Yeah.
While fueling Barris's jealousy,
anger
by talking about, oh, if she wears that, somebody got to be looking, and meanwhile telling her he not really paying you no mind because you wearing clothes that's too loose. You need to be a little more skimpy with your shit. And I'm just
says, that's why he the worst. Yes. He knew what would lead to. He was playing both. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Okay. So, but the fact that because he's doing it for himself, because he's thinking, well, if I feed her the wrong information, then eventually they'll get tired of it. I can
be with her.
I can recuperate her.
Yeah.
I can be with her. And then I got the mama and the daughter.
But that just shows you how blind and stupid he was. He wasn't even looking at what was really happening to them.
He's sick.
Because any man who sees a woman with this busted up eye and her whole half her face was all busted up, and he's just acting like it's nothing. Like it's gonna be all right, it's no problem. He gets a little angry, but he doesn't really mean it. Like,
have he ever beat your ass like that? That's what comes in. Like, you can't. Don't sit here and tell some chick who's getting her ass beat that he don't mean that shit. He meant every fucking blow. Every blow. And the fact that you can do the littlest things. He beat her ass after she spent an afternoon with her daughter.
Exactly. And that's what made me not like the mom anymore, because I thought that, and then the fact that she let that man beat her daughter with a belt and said nothing. Zippo.
If she was Vicky and Jinx was Tati, Vicky would be in jail and Barris would have been dead.
Exactly.
Like, that's
the mama said nothing. She didn't try to break it up, and then afterwards she didn't say nothing. She kind of acted like it didn't happen.
And I'm just like, all of the magnitude of fuckery.
Yeah.
There's nothing else to call it. The sheer magnitude of how terrible. Jacked up all of these people are. None of you are okay. None of you.
Yeah, and I think what's really good is when there's only one chapter for Lemon. I think it's chapter 8, if I'm not mistaken. And that's the chapter where you kind of get it from his point of view, and you see how lustfully in love he is
with Jinx's mother.
with Jinx's mother.
Yes.
And that's when you're thinking, oh, fuck, this is going to go real bad.
And the whole dance, the night of dancing when they're
Yeah. Yeah, because that's the first point where you kind of get an idea. You know, like Jinx is like a young girl with a crush. You know, young girls get crushes on older men. But we expect our older men to pull the fuck back and not like act on it.
But too often them motherfuckers don't.
I know. Just my point. So
And Barris says, we're not robbing no cradles in here.
wrong. You don't do it anyway. I think that was the reason why Jinx got beat anyway, got her ass beat, was because Barris realized that she had had sex with.
No, Barris didn't realize.
You don't think he realized? You don't
No, Lemon told him.
Oh, true. That's true.
Yeah.
Lemon told him.
Yeah, she did. He told him.
And the thing that came through my mind, ain't nothing worse than a bitch ass. That's what the song that came through my mind at that point. I was like, the loyalty.
Yeah.
The loyalty that Lemon manages to hold for Barris.
Yeah, it's weird.
After Barris.
Because
it's weird.
He should have, if he was really angry at the situation, then he would have beat up Lemon instead of.
I think if he tried to beat Lemon, he would have got his ass beat. Because obviously he's never fought a man.
And also keep in mind, it shows you that their friendship is strong.
Is it?
Yeah, it is.
Strong in a strong in a sense where they're like ride or die at that point.
They're each other.
Yeah.
And, you know, even though when they explained with Lemon's wife and how Barris was, you know, talking about his wife and saying that she was a whore and out.
Barris did the same thing to Lemon that Lemon did to Barris.
Exactly.
He did the exact same thing.
But they're like ride or dies, and they're gonna be loyal to each other. This is a real masculine thing.
Yes,
it's more than anything. I mean, it kind of goes past the idea of friendship. It's some kind of
code. It's like a fucked up bro code.
Yeah, a little bit. It's the best way I can. It's very yeah, and it's true. Yes, Lemon did blame Jinx, and I was just like,
"She's a child,
Lemon. You on my like mess."
She's a child. She's a child who
she's a child that has no more framework, no guidelines. She has no limits. Like she went from having a restricted home to having like nothing because her mama just wasn't being a mama anymore to her.
She went from having a mother
to having none.
And this is when Barris came into the picture. She went from having a mother. Her mother was never able to balance being a girlfriend and being a mother. And then when you haven't been able to balance being a girlfriend and being a mother, and now you're gonna be a fiance and a pregnant heifer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's that blaming of that blaming of Jinx. It went really far, and he never saw that repercussion. You know,
right. He never saw any repercussions. Lemon got no repercussions.
And even when
the best thing that happened to that motherfucker in the whole book was his nose busted wide open on the song.
But even so, even when he does see repercussions, he act like he don't see it. So damn if you do, damn if you don't. It just happen. But then she goes and has sex with him when he comes back and lives with her. And I'm like, girl, what are you doing? What are you doing?
And lays with him. Lays with him after. Like it's not It's yes, you had sex with him, and that was bad enough, and then you lay with him
Lay with him.
after,
Yeah.
like y'all booed up.
Yeah, exactly.
It's pillow talk.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. It's just, it's
And
really
he's
disturbing.
literally still fucking you because he can't have your mom.
Yeah, exactly. And for all we know, when he did fuck you, he was thinking of your mom at the
He
same
was.
time.
She was
You know?
in. He was in her mom's clothes. She
Yeah,
was in her mom's coat.
exactly. It was creepy as
He was
I don't
totally. He
know
was
what.
totally thinking. And then he gets in there, and I don't know if the oh my god after he
Mm.
gets in there is because he realizes that he's penetrated a child, or
Yeah.
that it just feels so good, and this might be what it feels like to fuck her mother.
Oh my God. It's just the implications of it all is really gross. But the fact that she still has those coats,
It's sick.
I can't.
That is a
Yeah.
whole. That's a whole monument
Yeah.
to domestic abuse.
Yeah.
It's a whole. It's a whole mind. It's not key. It's not a keepsake for your mother. Because I would hope that if Barris had just abused her, or if she had survived the stabbing, and Barris, well, shit, she may not have pressed any charges if she survived. I don't. Never mind.
No, because she would have been that dumb. She wouldn't have pressed charges. She probably would have taken him back too.
Yes. The fact that he
Because-
came back boo-hooing after
Yeah.
he hit her the first time,
Mhm.
and Lemon came and paved the way for
Mhm.
him to come back. And I'm just like, y'all
Yeah.
are.
Y'all are.
The dudes that I know, if you beat up a chick, they gonna beat your ass.
They're gonna beat your ass. I know.
Mm.
Like
That's when you
the
see that
camaraderie of this
they're
bro
both
of this.
worth shit. They're worth shit. Both of them. That I mean, it's just like the worst scenario. That whole thing. It's just like I couldn't believe what I was reading. I was like, but you know what? I could see something like this actually happening, and I
Oh
could
yeah,
see
no, yeah, no, yeah.
how you know
Absolutely.
women who are beaten by their spouses or their boyfriends, how that shit keeps getting perpetuated, and you know, because everyone around them is making it possible for it to happen, you know, and
And
Yup.
even when
infuriating
I've
to
seen it
read.
on both sides, even when the people who are around them are not making it possible for it to
Yeah.
happen. Like I've seen where familial relationships have been cut because the person who's in the abusive relationship won't leave the relationship.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the familial relationship is cut, and the person who's being abused still stays there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a common thing, sadly.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think she tells that story very well. You know, this
She
story.
does. And I want to know how.
Mm, mm.
And that may be, I did not read the after, like the acknowledgments and
Yeah.
things. So that may be in that section, but I want to
I didn't
know.
read the acknowledgments either.
Yeah, I want to know how.
But I feel like it could be
She just says thank you to people.
That's it. There's
Yeah.
nothing in there about any research or anything. Oh, I got my Kindle right here.
I didn't realize
I'm
that
being really lazy.
It's a Montserratan British origin. I didn't realize she was from Montserrat as well. Okay. Anyway, so
You're right.
what else y'all want to talk about?
Okay, let me look at my notes. Do you feel that, because she's never, what do you feel for Jinx is, because I don't believe that you can't hold her you can't hold her responsible for her mother's death because she was a child, but she's held that responsibility to herself for all of these years, and learning that there's literally nothing you could have done to save your mother. Freed her up to the point where she was able, that was the thing. That's what, and we wouldn't have had a book, but that's what Lemon should have started with. Like that night is what he should have started with, because that's what she ultimately needed to know. The trip down memory lane.
He's not gonna do that.
Yeah.
See, the thing that about the book that's really good is that it's his arrival in her life, which sparks off her thought, her detailed thought about
Mm-hmm.
all of the events in sequence. And I
And
feel
how
like,
events
yeah,
came together,
they
because it
come
wasn't just the events in the house, it was the events with
exactly
Sam, it was the events with,
everything.
yeah, it was everything, how everything came
Everything
together.
is sort of, it's almost like she's just reliving the whole thing again in a way,
Mm-hmm.
to a
Mhm.
certain extent. But I like the fact that Yvette Edwards starts the book on this whole situation with her and her child, because it's bringing out this idea of the importance of parenthood and what kinds of foundation you have to be able to be able to do that role as a parent. And we can see that this character is on super loose foundation. In the beginning,
Yes.
you're like, okay, what's wrong with her? And then it goes into the thoughts of the past. I feel like
Because
women is a catalyst, but he's really not honest, because he comes
Oh
and he comes at her sideways. He's not coming her, like you said, he should have just started, came on out and said, look, girl, I'm really sorry. I didn't realize what I was if he was
no, don't you knew what the fuck he was doing.
he could have said it right from the start. But he didn't say that.
But he leads with, he's out.
Yeah.
yeah, I was like, see, again, like the way the story is told,
Yeah.
it's really good. I think that's
Yeah.
that's the best
very
part.
realistic for someone who doesn't want to admit they're wrong in something, and they're ashamed of themselves, but they don't want to admit they were wrong. They're gonna come at you sideways.
Yeah.
They're not gonna come right out and say, look, I'm sorry, Tatiana, I made a mistake, I should Z.
Right about that.
No, they're gonna come at you sideways talking about how your wallpaper don't look right, and this ain't right, and that ain't right.
Dealing with that right now. You fucking right.
So
But yeah, but the her having that knowledge, the ability, the freedom that it gave her to feel that she had a right, I want to say, to go and visit her mother's grave.
yeah, because she hadn't
Oh,
done
at the
it.
end, yeah.
And
Oh,
that
at the end, yeah.
I feel like that's the beginning of her healing process.
And then she just goes and she goes and sees her son in his house, in his home, and just sits with him.
Okay, Alba asked a really good question. Things have allowed anyone, not just Lemon, to speak to her directly about that trauma.
No, because she wasn't gonna let Lemon do it.
Yeah,
it did have you, and
he had to wear her down.
I know it's not gonna happen the way that I would want it to happen for me, because if it did, there wouldn't be a book.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, no, that she didn't want Lemon to talk about it. And even as she was having this conversation and reliving this experience mentally, there were parts where she was like, we're not talking about that.
Yeah. Yeah, because he was trying to wear her down. He was basically saying, if you don't talk about it, I'm not going to leave. Kind of thing.
Right.
He was like,
and this is my house, motherfucker. You don't have to leave of your own volition. But
they get everything out, then it's like he packs up and gets ready to leave, kind of thing.
Oh, that's another thing. Anna, it was mentioned earlier. We did mention that earlier, and someone in the comments said that it has to do with availability of real estate. In the UK, and so when you have a free house, which is what she had,
you don't get it up no matter who's killed inside.
Yeah, you keep it. And so she had a free house, so she kept it. The flip side of that is having a free house where your mother was killed and you do absolutely nothing. Like we breaking down some walls, we doing something to change.
We getting rid of all them coats in the closet. Okay,
we're doing something to change so that when I look in this house, I'm not seeing.
Yeah. Well, you could also understand why since her foundation, for like you were mentioning, the foundation is so loose. It's obvious that she would still keep it there. Like that's the type of person that she is. It seems like
Yeah, but
she's not gonna.
in the coats is like.
I mean, yeah. I mean, the
But
coats
is that all? But
should be
that's
the
what she
first
had of her
thing.
mother. That's
Yeah, the first
literally
thing's gonna go.
The
Should go
coats
anyways.
and her mother's makeup that she put on before Lemon fucked her.
Yeah, that's true. It's so true. Oh God, I'm with
That's all that
Albert.
she had.
Throw them damn coats out. Like
That makeup is almost 20 years old.
And then she said, and not wearing them. Oh, hell no. Don't be wearing them coats. That is just too creepy. That freaked me out.
Lots of
Caribbeans don't throw. It's not just lots of Caribbeans. Lots of African Americans don't either, because I am an emotional pack rat. So I told it, like, I get that, but I for me, and I get it. I would have had a whole we gonna have a bonfire. And what's gonna fuel these bonfires? We're gonna roast marshmallows and hot dogs over these fucking coats.
Yeah, no, them coats would have to go. I mean, if I had to live in the house, I would do a serious paint and job and redecorate. You wouldn't even know that was the same
candle
house.
That I light, we just lighting sage up in this bitch.
A lot of sage on a regular basis.
Every day.
And I'd get the feng shui thing done too. So get that salt poured all the way around the house and stuff, and get rid of them damn coats. Okay.
It's the coats. It's the holding on to the gifts that your mother was given after she got her ass beat. That for me. It's just,
I don't know. I feel like, okay, I know maybe throwing the coats out is difficult, but I think throwing them out is the first sign of I want to get well.
And I would like to know. I would like to know if after she leaves her ex-husband's house, after she has this evening of watching cartoons with her son, I want to know, does she go back home and pull out them coats?
God, I hope not.
No. Pull them out to get rid of.
To get rid of them.
I hope so, but you never know. This is not something you get over quickly. It's something that goes in stages. So
right. And her need to. That's another thing that I wrote down. I wrote down, Lemon left before Jinx could tell him that she forgave him. Does it matter that he's told? Because my mom has always told me that, you forgive for yourself, not for the other person.
Yeah, exactly.
So, does it matter that he's told? It matters more that she was willing to forgive him, but also why? After all, Mavis died with him believing she lied with her last breath. And when he finally learns he's been living in Barris's lie, he couldn't ask her for forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
And that's years. Their son was in his 20s when he died.
Yeah.
And for all of these years, not only have you believed that this is somebody else's son, but you believe that your wife has actively, repeatedly lied to you. And you have maintained in telling her that you don't believe her, to the point that with her last breath, she tells you he's yours.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah, it's a tough one. I think when she comes back, I like the fact that she has a slight bit of coming to Jesus, because when she sees her son, she sees that he has the same eyes that she has, the same eyes that her mother has.
Which are the same eyes that Lemon fucked her for. So
yeah, exactly. But still, I feel like she's making that connection. That first bit of connection with her son. But I'm sure when she comes home, she doesn't necessarily throw the coats away, because that's going to take time for her.
Yeah, I can see that.
Heal over that, and like maybe she'll throw the coats away next year, or something like that. I don't think it's something that's going to be cut and easy and quick to do.
Barris was the father of who?
That was sad, but did he believe her?
Oh, of Lemon's son. Of Lemon's son. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Because that never crossed my head. Mavis didn't like Barris.
Yeah, she didn't like him at all.
Mavis was vehement that Barris could not, because she saw Barris for who Barris was, I believe.
Yeah.
And so she was adamant that he could not be in their space, because
Anymore.
I believe that she did not want him to pervert their space, which he still managed
to do. Yeah. He still managed to do it. Bukola says that was sad, but did he believe her? Even when she said it, when she said it with her last breath.
No, he didn't believe her. And that's what makes in that exchange, that's what makes Jinx cry and makes her have to get up and leave. And she says, you should have believed her.
Yeah.
And she doesn't find out until they get to the point of actively talking about his discussion with Barris and how Barris doesn't blame him or hold him at fault for anything. That's because Barris doesn't know the bullshit that you did.
Yeah.
But he didn't believe her and did not believe her until he and Barris had that conversation after Barris got out of the clink, and Barris tells him that he lied.
Yeah.
So that was like the first. That's the first time in the book, really, too, that we see an emotion from Jinx that's not anger or frustration. Yeah, it's that, that, and then her, question of when he rejects her initial attempt to fuck him. And she has the reaction of why won't anybody love me? Why won't anybody choose me?
Yeah. Well, yeah, because she really felt abandoned. And I can
totally
she was abandoned. Her mother stopped even really
being a mother,
doing things with her, and being interested in her daughter. She was just,
and she lost her friend. She lost her friend who had to go to Nigeria.
They shipped Sam off to Nigeria.
Wow. And she got knocked up. Like, I was like, damn, y'all ain't got nobody in it. Like, there are many other cities and places in the UK that you can send her.
Nah, they want to ship
her. You don't know none of these people in Nigeria.
They want to ship her back to their people to get her. They shipped over there.
Oh, Ghana! It was Ghana, y'all. It was Ghana.
Thank you, Anna.
They probably ship her over there and get her married off like immediately right after. So that was kind of sad, but that also shows another connection that's broken for her. Like, so she has no one. She's on her
own. And then the one person that she thought she was gonna have, she tries to have her husband. That doesn't pan out.
Yeah.
She tries to have a kid.
Red.
That doesn't pan out. So it's literally like Lemon is her last resort. And then he initially, and then he initially rebuffs her.
Because if it would have been up to her, she just would have slammed the door in his face and not have him really come in. But
now that you're here and you've cooked for me and
I just realized
and shimmied your booty in my kitchen.
I was just thinking about it that most of these people's names are like color, like Lemon, and then Berry. Like berry, like
berries,
like a berry, and then mauve, like Mavis, that's
Michael.
Interesting.
Yeah, that is.
How did your brain get there?
I was like,
how did that just?
Because when you think about it, everyone's name, like. And then again, that could be like a colorism connection. See, if I was writing a report, I would have been like, oh my god.
The way that I don't know how your brain just got there, but thank you.
I was like, everyone's name is really close to a color. That's really interesting.
I didn't make that.
I wonder what Jinx would. You know what, Jinx? It would probably be black. That's probably the color that's.
Yeah, the rebel.
Yeah.
And Joy. Her mother's name is Joy.
That could. Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Joy and happiness tend to have a yellow.
Yeah. Huh.
Now I did read somewhere
I think I think it came to my mind when you said red, and then I was like, oh wait, that's
Oh,
what it was.
shit.
Like, yeah.
Oh
See,
shit.
that's the thing though. It's like
Red, yeah, their husband.
red is like
Her
really
husband.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
he's
huh.
red.
You know
Yeah.
I'm horrible at remembering names, and he's like a
Yeah.
fifth or sixth character, not even tertiary.
Yeah, I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, but he makes a good entrance. You know, he
Mhm.
seems to be a very responsible dad. You know,
Yeah.
he's taking on, raising his son.
And he
He's
could read her.
seriously.
He could read her. He knew
Yeah.
that she
He
was
knew
not
her.
gonna care.
Yeah. He was like,
That-
look, you get your shit together, then you can come and see him at my place.
At my house. I'm
Yeah.
not doing this anymore.
More.
And
Yeah.
do you know he cries for you?
Was just completely distraught, the son. Like you could hear him over the phone. He was like, I'm gonna be over there in a minute, because he was like, shit ain't going right over there. They got my little 4-year-old screaming and hollering, So I thought he made a good entrance. And then he walked right on out the door, because it wasn't.
He laid down the law and he left.
Yeah, and he like,
and
okay,
he didn't do it. He did not do it. It's like the relationship that, let's talk about this mortician thing too. The relationship that she has with Red is probably the healthiest
Yeah.
of the relationships that she's had, and she meets him preparing his mother for like her job. Like I remember as a kid having my god sister wanted to be a mortician, and I was like, who the fuck wants to do that?
I had a friend in high school who was going to be a mortician, because
I know morticians personally and have asked them what the fuck.
They make a lot of money, but
I can.
And their skin is fucking flawless because they're around all of that damn.
All those people that they have to redo.
Their skin is flawless, but I'm just like, what? How did you get here? And like I have asked those questions, because for me it's just like that's not something
there's a reality show on Netflix about a family who owns a funeral parlor, and I'm not gonna lie, watching it, I was like, I can kind of see why y'all do this. Like, I really can see it. I thought it was a great reality show. I forgot what's it called. But it was about them. They owned a parlor, and they're all like, even they talk about like picking up the body and like putting makeup on, like the makeup skills they have to do and all of that. I was like, this.
And how you have to care for the skin of a deceased person
differently
than you care
it's
for
like
the
different.
skin of a live person. Yeah. But I'm just like the fact that like since she lives her life, her entire life is death.
Yeah.
Because that's her job.
Yeah.
You've gone from just experiencing it from your mother being killed and the trauma.
Great, you haven't even visited in a long time. Yeah.
The trauma of that, and your entire life is handling dead bodies. And the first dead body she handled was her mom's.
That's
like, yeah.
Some kind of calling, perhaps, Claire says.
That
could be true.
It's definitely a calling.
I would say, some kind of call or vocation or something, because it's not a job that everybody can do.
It's not a job that everybody can do, and it's not a job that everybody can do. Even those who can do it, it's not a job that everybody can do well.
Well, yeah, I agree.
Like I literally thought about my paternal grandmother when she died. When she passed, she had scars on her face from shingles. None of that. None of that.
Got rid of all of that. Then.
They got rid of all of that when they did when they did her body and when they prepared her body for the funeral. You couldn't see a single scar. Nothing looked raised. Nothing. It is an art form, and it's a definite calling, because to handle all of that coldness on a regular basis.
Oh, that's interesting. Book Whimsy. Cynthia says it is a way of punishing herself. That's possible. I didn't think about that.
Yeah,
that is a good idea. Yeah.
Claire said Jinx was jinxed with karma. Yeah. Yeah, sadly.
They cursed her.
Yeah.
From Day -1.
Yeah, she was.
What broke what? How do you go from Joy and what was her daddy's name? I can't remember what her daddy name was. How the fuck you get Jinx? Like of all of the things
Mr.
that
Jackson?
okay, so two J
Yeah.
how? Just
I don't know, girl. I don't know.
how?
I just thought I was like maybe they like Pokemon because I was like what is
I
this?
don't know where Jinx from.
Like
It's not
that's
even Jinx. It's actually
She was too
Jinxie.
old to know what Pokemon was.
Jinxie with a Y at the end. Jinxie.
yeah, Jinxie.
Is that is not
Yeah,
what
it's Jinxie is her
Yeah.
real name. But
I
how
think
you get Jinxie or Jinx is the same question. I don't know how you get there. I'm confused by that.
very.
And then Alba says punishing herself because of the address she never gave. Yeah, because she
oh
looked
the
at
address. Oh
yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah, because she really felt like she killed her mom, which
Yeah, she felt like it was because she didn't get that
started with.
address.
yeah.
She was even regretting it when she had, like after she had those little pieces that were left that she couldn't flush down the toilet. Already she was regretting it. What am I gonna do? I can't now just produce something. I don't even have the information.
And then here comes Lemon's
He comes
bullshit ass. Well, even if you gave it to him, he would have gone to the wrong
That's
place.
the part that really I was like, oh
shit. That's what
yeah. I was like, oh my god.
So you had a whole anniversary dinner or birthday dinner with your friend's
wife,
fiance on your arm, and the entire night she is bothered by the fact that Barris hasn't shown up because she knows she knows
her ass is gonna get beat when she gets home.
She knows she's gonna get fucked up, and you don't care.
Yeah,
you don't care. You are totally only concerned.
They're gonna break up. Gonna break up.
Yeah, that's all he's concerned with.
Yeah, and he plugged her twice in the back stabbed her twice in the back. Like she didn't even try to fight her way out of it. She just tried to run away.
She just gave in.
I can't fight this man. Let me just run. And she's got 2 in the back. I mean, it's just like, Lord, intense. So, I mean, I would definitely say trigger warnings for this book. And I don't do trigger warnings, but I would say if somebody asked me, I would say, yeah, I would say trigger warning, because it is quite violent and it's nonstop. It feels like because it's so brutal, it just feels nonstop. You feel the fear that the mother feels. Like you can feel that she's walking on eggshells. It does have this tendency to have this, this reaction like she's doing something and then she's afraid that her husband's going to hit her or something. The whole, I would say the second half of the book is pretty intense with that kind of feeling that you get when you're reading it. So I would definitely say definite trigger warnings on this one.
Trigger warning for everything about shitty relationships.
Yeah. Pretty violent but be that as it may, I did not feel like this was gratuitous at all.
No,
it's all very much in the story and it gives a very realistic feel. It's written in a way that that it's not hard to understand what's going on or anything. It's not written like a typical Man Booker.
Yeah, that really surprised me too. I was like, this is really different.
I
was like, this is really different from a Man Booker. Yeah,
because some Man Booker books have a tendency to be more like puzzle pieces or something that you really have to think through really a lot.
Yes.
But
yes.
I got hooked. The reason I bought this book a couple of years back was when I read the back. When I read that first paragraph.
Does everyone's look different? Mine looks different.
This one.
And hold on, my Kindle cover I believe is different than both of your
they're just
covers.
different versions. I was just surprised because
There's another version. There's a blue one. I think.
Yeah. I got this. I bought this used, and this is from a library. So.
Oh no, my Kindle cover is your cover.
Okay. Yeah. This must be the U.S. version, but it really doesn't explain anything because
it doesn't.
It's just.
It's got it. No, it doesn't.
It's flowers with some fruit.
Also, I've never had sorrel juice, and I want some. That's all.
Sorrel? Oh,
I've never the process of that's another thing that was very present in the story with the process of, and that's where I told you that there were some things that I thought were overly descriptive.
Yeah.
What I did not have a problem with was the description of the process of making the dishes and the drinks that Lemon was making.
Yeah, all of the food stuff. That's what I was going to tell you.
Yeah.
I read somewhere that she was very much inspired to write some food descriptions because she really likes the author Joanne Harris's chocolate.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And if you've ever read that book, I
haven't read that book, but I love that movie.
Chocolatey
Isn't that what the movie Chocolat is based on?
No,
Lucy.
but it's the fact that she has these food descriptions because she's known for writing good food descriptions in all her books. Okay. And so she likes that aspect, and then the fact that he's Caribbean, she wanted to add in that Caribbean culture through food descriptions. And so
has she written anything? Has she written anything else after this?
What is it?
Has she written anything else after this? This is her first novel?
She wrote another book called The Mother, which came out.
And I want to read something else by her.
Yeah, I would like to read The Mother because that's the one that came out not so long ago. Let me just check the year. I want to say 3 years ago, maybe, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, I can see people getting this mixed up with The Mothers.
No, not The Mothers, The Mother.
Yeah, no, even on Google, people, they show you The Mothers also. So I can see people. I can see people get confused.
Yeah, CS, unfortunately, because of COVID, a lot of the Jamaican stores that are present in my area are struggling and are no longer available. So, and even those, like, we have a couple Jamaican restaurants that I would probably be able to luck out and get some sorrel juice from, but the Jamaican store that my friend used to go to on a regular, which is in an annoying part of town for me. The traffic is just fucking annoying. She's never mentioned. I'm like, I need to ask her if she ever got sorrel juice from there, but she's never mentioned buying juice, only like getting ingredients.
There's a Caribbean restaurant down the street from me, and I just had oxtails the other day. It was.
Dude, I have not. We're not having an oxtails discussion. I have a friend from Malawi who makes the best oxtails, and I just need her to make some.
Oh yes. Also, oxtail prices are expensive.
2016.
Oh my god. So 2016, she wrote The Mother.
Yeah, 2016, The Mother. Let's see. The Mother is described as Marsha's husband, Lloydie, expresses his tender love for his wife each morning by preparing a cup of tea, setting it by his bedside. This routine was part of the wonderful, secure life they had built, complete with a brilliant and handsome 16-year-old son, Ryan. Then the unimaginable happens, and in a single moment, Marsha is stripped clean of everything she had presumed was hers for keeps. Ryan, not the kind of boy to find himself on the wrong end of a knife, is brutally murdered. Consumed by grief and rage, she is forced to carry the weight of the family's pain. She has to assume the role of supporter for her inconsolable husband, who has distanced himself and created a secret life. Okay, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to read the whole thing.
Yeah, I was going to say this sounds
good.
My God. Yeah, the blurb like gives a lot away.
Yeah, I know. I didn't
my God.
But it sounds juicy, right?
It sounds actually really good.
Sounds really good.
I
So
don't
I'll
pay
read
attention
that
to
next.
Amazon or Goodreads ratings,
Now, I don't know if she has anything else.
I don't pay attention to those.
Else.
Cause
Yvette Edwards, because I don't know.
But yeah, overall, I liked it. The book.
yeah. And this was a very, again, y'all know I don't do literary fiction like talking about, and when I do it with a
You've been
long
doing a
handle
ton with
spoon.
me though.
Huh?
You've been doing
Yes.
it retailing Readalong.
Yes, I will do it for Didi, and 9 times out of 10, doing it for Didi is the only time it gets done.
I know not to jump forward, but do you have any ideas for Black History Month for February?
Yes.
No gay.
Okay. That's all. That's all we need to
You
know.
know what I'm tell you? I can announce it right here.
Oh yeah.
Oh, really?
We're
yeah,
finished with. Anyone else has anything else to say before we?
Yeah, I know. Wait, let me see if I can pull it up. I hope this one is gonna work.
People saying spill it. Yay.
You do such an amazing job, Didi. And I know I say this like on a regular basis, but you do such an amazing job of like picking these books to make them be books that fuel conversation. And books that take me out of my comfort zone, because I think of the three of this Trinity, I am the only one who doesn't fuck with literary fiction.
Yeah, you don't do literary fiction like that.
like talking about,
especially not after
that hoe.
The polish up. I never finished that. I need to finish that.
Oh my! You better finish it, Michael.
I remember.
That book is fire. For people that love literary fiction, it's fire. Okay, this is what we're gonna be reading in February. It's Sun is Sky.
Sun is Sky.
Oh my gosh! Oh shit!
And that's by Jetta Mayberry. Now Jetta Mayberry is an African American writer. I've been following.
The cover is pretty.
I've been following him forever on Instagram. I think when I started Instagram, I started following him, and he wrote another book before this, which I have not read yet, but it's a book mostly about men, and this is a book about women. So I was very interested to see, this man writing about women. So I think we would all be interested in checking out Sun is Sky by Jetta Mayberry. If you want, go ahead and follow him over on Instagram. On Instagram,
is that his debut?
I think no. His debut is he has got another.
Okay.
This is his second. His first book is The Unheralded King of Preston Plains. That's his first one. It came out in 2013. Sun is Sky came out in the middle of the damn pandemic, actually.
Yeah. Oh. I just ordered it, and I will put it out there for those of us who are in the US. I did order it on Amazon. I know a lot of us hate it, but I ordered it on Amazon, but it's through Book Depository. So it is October 31st, and its projected delivery date is by November 25th.
Oh my God!
If you don't want to order,
it's coming from Book Depository.
You can order from Blackwell's too.
Also,
Blackwell
has a referral code.
And if you want to, you can hit my affiliate link in my
affiliate link. That's it.
Please. And I want to thank everybody in here who's ordered books and hit that link. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah.
Because some people have hit that link for Blackwell's a lot lately. I don't know who they are, but I just want to thank everybody.
Yeah, I don't hit it as much as I want to because I get a fee. My bank charges me a fee because it's an international purchase.
Because it's in pounds? Oh, crap.
Because it's an international purchase. And they don't for Book Depository. It's the craziest thing. It makes
but that's because it's Amazon. It's linked to Amazon. That's probably why.
Even when I go to bookdepository.com though?
Yeah, because it's still part of Amazon.
Yeah, Book Depository, I think, is Amazon.
Okay. Well, I'm so pissed that a book that I really wanted now has the Reese Witherspoon book sticker on it. And so I'm waiting. Huh?
Which one?
It's called Sankofa.
Oh, I read a book recently. I listened to a book recently that had the Reese Witherspoon thing, and I was like, okay, what does that mean? So I listened to it. I was like, oh, this wasn't good. I was like, oh, it was a thriller.
Yeah,
Sankofa. Oh, that is a pretty cover.
Yeah, but it's got that blasted Reese because I almost bought it. Hello, Birdie. Thank you for singing to us. I love it. I ain't mad. Don't cover. Don't cover. I ain't mad. That's literally a conversation I have with birds in the morning. But yeah, I saw that in the Barnes and Noble. I was like, I'll be damned. So hopefully, Book Depository or Blackwell's released in the UK will have it without that sticker.
So I will probably do an early announcement for that.
Val says she just bought Sankofa. I'm hoping there's a movie that I watched. I'm gonna shut up. There's a movie on Netflix called Sankofa that I watched when I was a teenager that changed my entire black ass life. I recommended it was basically a self-produced, like we have indie authors. It was an indie project. And it was it looks like it was an indie project, but it was his passion project, and it also looked like it was his passion project. And it was just very it was huge for me. Like my Animal Crossing island, the name has been Sankofa.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so it was that important to me that all these years later it still resonates. So yeah, if you need a movie to watch.
Okay. So that's good. So I will. Yeah. So if you want, you can tell your friends that February, the Read So Lit Read Along book is going to be Sun is Sky. I already have the one picked out for the Read So Lit book club as well. It's already picked out.
I'm so behind.
Oh, hold on.
I am so
if you want to read
behind.
Anything by Jeddah Mayberry, his first book is actually on Scrib.
Okay, well then there you go.
There you go.
I'm gonna save for later then.
Yeah. So
I love that Michael is like literally on his laptop. Your ability to multitask while having cohesive conversations, I love.
So this is Jeddah Mayberry right here.
Yeah.
That's him. And on Instagram, I think his name, it's not his name, it's My Fave Author or something like that.
Yeah, that's presumptuous, but okay.
My
we don't know yet.
Let's see.
Oh, he got. Oh, okay. I'm reading his bibliography. Okay, he has some accolades. Come on, accolades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
There's a lot on here.
Okay, no, it's his name on Instagram is Your Fave's Fave Writer.
Oh.
Yeah, that's cute.
Oh my gosh.
Fave Writer.
Google Big Brother. Get the fuck out of my. I put your FAV and it came up. I've never searched for this man in my life.
Yeah, I mean, he's been around. Like I said, I've been following him since I've been on Instagram. Yeah, he doesn't post as much these days as he did before, but
do any of us.
I find him very interesting. I think he's an interesting person. And I can't get into the details. There's some things I just want to do this. I want that to be the book in February. And I think it's a book that everybody will be able to enjoy and get behind. And I'm hoping it won't be as traumatic as the Read So Lit book club book is going to be.
Oh, shit. Okay, so Dee's not plugging it. I will. Hopefully she will put the link to the Read So Lit book club in the description of this video. But if you are not a member of the Read So Lit Patreon book club, get your life and join us. You don't have to, it's not you have to be present at every single thing, because if it was, I couldn't be a member.
You can pay 1 month and leave the next if you want.
Yes,
it's every other month. It's cool. It's not a stress zone about reading.
About reading or about paying for Patreon. Like you can pay 1 month and not pay another month. You can pause your Patreon membership if that's if that's a thing. But join if you are interested. join us. It is great conversation with a group of great people.
Yes.
And just getting the different, one of the things that I love so much about it, y'all see me on here all the time. I talk all the fucking time. But I love getting an opportunity, and everyone has is given space to make comments or to share insights.
It's great. We have a great bunch
Dee
of
does an
ladies in there.
amazing job.
We have a great time talking about the books. The book club, I choose 2 books, and it's the club members who vote for the book. So our book in November is The House of Urzuli, which should be interesting. So hopefully, if you're wanting to join, and November, it will be our 1st year anniversary of the book club. So that's really cool.
And I think I voted for The House of Urzuli.
Yeah, I would have voted if I could vote. That's the one I would vote for.
I think that's the one I voted for. I'm not 100% sure though.
But that's the one that made it. And I've already picked out the book for the reads for the Read So Lit book club book, and that's going to be Grant Park.
Yay!
Leonard Pitts Jr. So if you want to join us for 2 reads, so or the Readalong, which is with everybody, or if you want to come over and join the Read So Lit book club on Patreon. On Patreon, we're going to be reading Grant Park by Leonard Pitts Jr. So there you have it.
So fucking happy.
So there you have it. That's what's happening. That's what's happening.
I'm gonna have my whole heart broken.
Now there might be some other things going on that are a little different in February. I'm working on that. I need to talk to you at some point, Tatiana, about that. We will have the photo challenge, except the photo challenge will only be 14 days.
Okay. I may be able to go from day 1 to the end this time.
Yeah, I'm going to shorten it because I can see people be struggling out there in these streets. And there's a lot of stuff going on that month. So I'm trying to
make the year I did the videos, I think that was 3 years ago. That's the only year I have done it from start to finish.
I know but like what you should do is when you get the grid, you should start planning. When I try to put the grid up super early. So you can plan everything, and all you have to do is just post.
Yeah,
post.
That's what I did that year. I'm trash.
Only 14 days.
Karen, the Leonard Pitts, The Last Thing You Surrender was like
his
the
latest
most recent book
that
he had written. He has 3 books. Is that right?
Yeah.
3 books that were written prior to The Last Thing You Surrender. Grant Park, Freeman, and I can't remember what the 3rd one is.
Grant Park
is great.
Before I Forget, I think
it's also on Scrib. Like a lot of his books is on Scrib. Grant Park. Did y'all know that's over 500 pages?
Yeah, I have it upstairs.
Look, we don't care. We read.
It's Leonard Pitts Jr.
I'm just letting y'all know.
The last thing you surrender.
Okay, Alicia be complaining. Alicia be complaining.
I'll read any length at this point.
Right.
Alicia be complaining when them books be long, but she be reading them. She read them.
His books read so fast because his characters are so compelling. And the way that he writes, literally, it's like imagine playing in the pool with like your dad or your older cousins when you were a kid, and they do the thing where they put you on your knees and you jump off their knees to jump into the water. That's what his books like. He keeps that catapulting feeling in his books, and you just can't stop. So
that's what we're going to be reading in the Read So Lit book club on Patreon is Grant Park, which is Leonard Pitts Jr. And that book was published in 2015.
Yeah.
So
and I don't own Before I Forget. That's the only one that I don't.
I don't own that one either.
Yeah.
So
that one, all of them is on Scrib. If y'all have Scrib.
So. Michael, do you have a referral link or anything?
No, I'm still on my trial.
Okay. Scrib, hit up Michael because he
on my trial.
He pushed it
on my trial.
I have Scrib too. I love Scrib.
Yeah.
Hit up Michael and hit up Dee Dee.
I love
Scribd.
Scribd.
Thank you.
So that's it. That's all the news. Y'all done heard it first before everybody else on Instagram done heard it. So y'all can go back and tell everybody you know. So I'll be announcing the read along one really soon because I want people to have time to get the books.
Get it. Yeah, I didn't think it was gonna be a
I
month.
will announce as well in the book club, the Grant Park. Some ladies already know, but I'll be announcing, in a special post for you guys for that.
You can put it on your Christmas list. Or holiday list. Your holiday list.
Whatever your holiday is.
Whatever your holiday is.
Look, if you're Jewish, there are 8 days of Hanukkah. One of them can be I would need 8 books. Like, I don't want nothing else. Just give me books. Just give me books.
So let's just see. Anybody got questions?
Anna says, please check the merch shop.
Yeah, the merch shop it's gonna be up pretty soon. Like in a few days. I'll let you know when that goes up. The merch is going to look completely different.
I'm excited.
From what you saw before. I went with Bonfire.
Oh.
Bonfire hit me up.
Okay.
Said, hey, are you looking, to do some merch? I said, sure. So the merch is going to look different.
Awesome.
So I'm working on that now, and I just need to get a few more things fixed with that, and then I can, I can put it up. But I'll let you know when that comes up. Okay, so that was Karen who asked, wait, he has another book. Any other questions?
Nope.
Okay, so I guess we can sign off. We thank everybody. Thank you guys for coming and discussing
so much.
This very intense book. So good. I feel like Yvette Edwards needs some more publicity because more people should know about her and read her books.
And anytime you leave a book wanting to read more by the author, that's a good sign.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's a good sign.
Absolutely.
And I left this book wanting to read.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I already had the mother on my list, and I feel like she must be a writer who likes writing about family connections.
I need more in her acknowledgement section. I need her acknowledgement section to grow so that I can find out some more of this information because I'm nosy.
But there is a video on YouTube where she talks about this book. She reads a little bit, but I didn't watch it.
I'll find that later.
But yeah. So thanks for coming, and yes, good night and good afternoon to all of you.
Bye.
We'll see you for the next read along in February.
Yay.
Bye.
Bye.